I'm Alex Lightman. I'm the CEO of Kimoji, and welcome to the Lightman Report. This week, we're going to talk about DeFi. We're going to offer new perspectives on DeFi, and we're going to say where things are. DeFi is an acronym for decentralized finance, which refers to a technology set that aims to replicate and innovate on current financial service models and products using decentralized blockchain technology. These financial services range from digital assets that may or may not represent assets in the real world to financial smart contracts that can replicate derivative products found in traditional finance markets. So 2020 is a new challenge for decentralized finance. Every financial crisis is both a challenge and an opportunity for crypto and blockchain. Modern fiat monetary systems and banks are under pressure because of COVID-19, because of the massive supply chain disruption and the massive demand and supply and financial markets shocks. And decentralized finance has a chance to take leadership, not in the size of the market, because the gross global product is $80 trillion, but it can grow, it can be growing faster, and growth opportunities have their own rewards. So here's a state of the market. These are contracts locked up in Ethereum that we'll be talking about in a second. Maker is for lending $391 million worth of Ethereum. Synthetics, derivatives, Compound is lending. Uniswap is decentralized exchanges. Aave is lending. InstaDApp is lending. DYDX is lending. That's, by the way, reference a calculus and differential equation reference. Set protocol or assets. Bancor is distributed exchanges or decentralized exchanges. WBTC assets. So these are the 10 big DeFi pulse categories. The DeFi isn't a one-trick pony. It's actually 12-trick ponies. It's payments. We have representative companies there. Stablecoins, infrastructure, investment, exchanges, including decentralized exchanges, derivatives, know your customer, which is a legal requirement, prediction markets, wallets, other kinds of marketplaces, lending and credit, and insurance. We'll talk about some of these as we go through this. Here are top companies, top DeFi companies and use cases in 2020. And we let the 100 flowers bloom, let the 100 flow. The main 4 use cases of DeFi are trust source in crises, banking crises, hyperinflation, currency crisis, or unexpected devaluations. You want something that doesn't correlate with the regular markets. Also something that can tackle global inefficiencies, such as the 2 billion out of 8 billion people who are unbanked, expensive cross-border services like remittances. Sometimes remittances can cost over 10% of the money being sent from the United States to other countries. Sanctions and bypass local bans. And then my head, which I'm starting to figure out how to use, is blocking empower creativity, banking, derivatives, indices. And of course you have the Ethereum's decentralized payments, and you have custodial services, infrastructure, exchanges and liquidity, investing, marketplaces, derivatives, KYC, and identity. Identity is super important. It's the core of all the other things. Stable coins, prediction markets, insurance, credit, and lending. So we talked about that just a second ago, but there's not just those top 4, but notice that there are companies within each category. And I hope that if you're interested in this sector, that you can take a screenshot or take a picture of those companies and look them up and see what their offerings are. What are the user motivations and the pain points? Well, Consensus Research, and Consensus, of course, is the biggest company doing development around Ethereum ever since the beginning of when Ethereum came out. The leading motivator for using decentralized products and services was to increase crypto portfolios and earn more crypto rather than dollar-denominated monetary values. There are people who want to earn more in crypto. And Bitcoin in the 2020s, so from January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2019, Bitcoin had the highest return on investment of anything in the decade, more than 9 million %. And there also is a desire to remain first movers and be part of emergent technology and ecosystems. A lot of the participants who were surveyed said that they had used DeFi protocols within the last 6 months as a mean to earn passive income. So somebody might have Ethereum in a portfolio and they can lend it to somebody else and earn money on that. And they can earn it in fiat or they can earn it in more crypto. And they also want to experiment. People want to try things out. You have the crypto community in the Stanford values and lifestyles curve. There's the innovators, that first 1%, and the early adopters, that 2%. And then there's the chasm before you get to the early majority. But the crypto people are squarely in innovators and early adopters. All the people that were interviewed discussed the importance of decentralization. A lot of people are big fans of decentralization in our community, and also talked about benefits of decentralization. And one of the big promises of this is passive income from these lending protocols that we just talked about a minute ago, such as Compound, Fulcrum, DYDX, and more. Participants are searching for a mechanism to earn passively from their crypto portfolio. What are their pain points? Well, they don't know how to make the most of their money. How do you make the most money on your crypto? They also are constantly having a new protocol to check out. Even within Ethereum, you have the new kinds of standards that are coming out and the new releases. There's keeping on top of price volatility, though now even oil itself is very volatile. On the day that we made this, oil crashed. The futures contracts crashed into negative territory for the first time. So the big argument against crypto is it has no intrinsic value. Well, if oil futures contracts can go negative, what's the intrinsic value of oil? We now have that question for the first time. Also, keeping on top of the best earnings and borrowing rates. How do you do that? Fees associated with moving coins around, though that's much less of a problem for crypto people going wallet to wallet than it is when you have to go through an intermediary. Also, having to give up too much of their information to sign up. Some people don't like that. And a fiat on-ramp. I have to move my coins several times to earn interest. Those are the complaints. I think that they're all being dealt with. Part of the issue here is seeking trust in trustlessness. So you want to have all these different components that are kind of analogs to what people are used to if they're managing money, holding on to money, banking in fiat. So participants perceive trust in different forms and draw from a selection of trust attributes to determine what protocol they're going to put their money into. All the participants in these surveys identify that they must fundamentally believe in the viability of the crypto ecosystem, the technology, all of the redemptions, everything about it, in order to use it. Though they have to believe in it to varying degrees, expressed in their short-term or long-term view. Seeking trust in a technology that embodies trustlessness is challenging, because the idea is that you don't want to have to trust humans, but ultimately it comes down to trusting the people who are also in that community. The decentralized finance isn't only around Ethereum, though Ethereum was set up for smart contracts, so there are a lot of things that are just there philosophically and technologically that are made for decentralized finance. The first Bitcoin Digital Autonomous Organization, or DAO, launched in December of 2019 in Uruguay. Money on Chain launched a DeFi platform based on the Bitcoin sidechain rootstock. And this is the first Bitcoin DeFi, and it's a very important fact for DeFi adoption in crypto, because Bitcoin, you have basically Bitcoin dominance. So it's somewhere at any given moment around 2/3. It's been there historically. And if you look at all Bitcoin Cash, gold, platinum, all the different kinds of Bitcoin, it's as much as 92% of the crypto market. And most of the rest is Ethereum and XRP, a few others. And so it's great for DeFi if Bitcoin is being used as well. There are big numbers. These are big numbers from a crypto perspective, not from a Wall Street perspective. But February of 2020 was a decent time. The ETH price was more than $200. And the value locked in crypto DeFi, we saw that slide before in the state of the market. So if you add all those up together, for the first time, it reached $1 billion locked up of ETH. And Colin Myers, the global DeFi product strategy lead for Codify, said, the foundations of new economies start with borrowing and lending. And in 2019, the blockchain industry enabled these necessary primitives in what's become DeFi. Ethereum is volatile. Ethereum dropped on the 12th of March from $195 to $110, a 44% drop. I unfortunately sold near the bottom there. true story, trying to get money together to stock up for the COVID-19 possible supply chain disruptions. And the accumulated users activity on 12th March for 6 financial dApps, MakerDAO, Uniswap, Compound, Cyber, DYDX, 1inch was up 84% compared to the average for the previous 30 days because people were trying to make sense of all these big markets. And also, it should be pointed out that on the 10th of March, I don't have it on the slide, but I'll just tell you that this was the largest drop of this millennium, the largest drop in the last 20 years. The Dow dropped 9.99%, as we've said in a previous Lightman report. The Ethereum network was overloaded, showing the limits of its scalability, and the total amount of DeFi assets fell to 500 million. It's back up, though. It's popped back up to about 700 million. We've also had big hacks. This is unfortunate because the Bitcoin blockchain has been rolled back 3 times, but nobody got away with big amounts of money. And a Uniswap-based pool was hacked. Criminals gained more than 300,000 worth of Ethereum and an Ethereum-based tokenized version of Bitcoin, IMBTC. The DeFi protocol lendef.me was also hacked, and 25 million worth of Ethereum, also Tether's USDT, and other leading tokens were gone. Now, what's amazing is the attacker has since returned all the stolen funds. It happened just before we recorded this. And some people believe that's due to there was a poor hacking practice that left his identity exposed. And clearly, DeFi needs better security standards. I agree. I've been SIM swapped. I've lost quite a bit of mine as well. Still haven't recovered it all. Though I did get restitution due to the Department of Homeland Security. The person at AT&T who sold my Social Security number gave restitution. I thought it would be some big thing, and it was $33. So I have no idea why government is in time and effort for years is involved in coming back with a $33 redemption. And basically, this was done on a simple attack vector on ERC 777 with arbitrary code execution during the transfer to steal the money. And actually, the vulnerability was described by consensus 16 months ago. So we have to tighten up our act to make all this work. And then finally, last thing we're going to cover in this Lightman report is the concept of decentralized finance insurance. And though this is supposed to be risk-free, nothing related to computers is risk-free. Users have experienced loss of their crypto fund through exchange hacks, private keys being compromised, and also mishandling crypto funds. Since the transaction nature is decentralized fund recovery and the user security is problematic, unlike banks or credit cards in traditional finance, you basically don't have someone you can just call. Who are you going to call? You can't call the bank support department in general. So DeFi Insurance holds a vital role in securing the funds of the user, and you can bring more users into the DeFi space. DeFi insurance protocols allow the users to take out insurance policies on smart contracts and funds or any other digital asset through pooling individual funds to cover any claims. And this is a tiny, tiny space. It's just beginning, but the market is untapped. It's what's called blue ocean as opposed to red ocean. You're not killing each other for different margins. You're not competing with Warren Buffett's Geico or other things. And as the need grows and as more people get into crypto and as more people who are in crypto want to earn money on their money, then more the compound interest, what Baron von Rothschild said was the 8th wonder of the world. You want to have compound interest plus crypto, the 9th wonder of the world. So more insurance applications are going to do that. So this is the Lightman Report on decentralized finance. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.